Guys, Adzi here with day 23. I'm going to do a real talk video today. I know you guys don't like it when I real talk. I know you don't like it when I'm serious or whatever. Okay, whatever just fell, who asked your opinion? What was it? Oh, I'll find out in a minute. Anyway, yeah, I know you guys don't like it when I do real talk. I know you guys don't like it when I'm serious or whatever, but I really wanted to talk about something today. For those of you who know me, I'm a huge music fan. I've been a music fan for... Well, I've been a music fan for my entire life. Ever since I was a small child, I've loved music. And as I grew up, I've had my own identity with music. You know, I found new metal, I found punk, I found goth, shock rock, all of that. I found all of that along the way. And along that, I found singers that I can link, that, you know, I can resonate with, I can relate to. And that's what I want to talk about today. Two singers, songwriter, performers, artists that had such a profound like effect on me as a person that I don't think I'd be me if I had never heard of them. And you guys probably know who it's gonna be. It's Cornell and Bennington. I usually stay away from talking about celebrities because of the fact of I'm quite selfish and I make my channel about me and my life. I don't deal with tabloid journalism and I don't deal with drama and stuff like that. I keep it about me. But I think this time it was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to talk about, you know, the two of them, their deaths, their suicides, how I feel, because of it, how I feel in relation to that, because obviously I've had a lot to deal with as far as suicide and that is concerned, and basically wrap it up with my own like expression on my own like talking about at the end of it. I first heard Linkin Park when I think I was in like the end of secondary school or the beginning of secondary school, and I heard One Step Closer was the first Linkin Park song I ever heard. And I was mesmerised, you know, because at that time Chester had the real kind of like egg white and freaking vinegar hair, spikes. The guys were screwing about with a lot of different colours as far as like hair colour and look was concerned. And like just the concept they had for their music videos was gorgeous, and it was something that really kind of echoed with me and really kind of stuck with me. Was just the beauty that they created through the music videos and the blue screens and the studios and everything like that. And as more and more as I got listening into their music, I started actually listening to them more. Even when they talked, I'd watch interviews and stuff like that. And I loved all of them. I love Phoenix for being a complete and utter nut job. I love Mike and Joe for the sheer amount of work the two of them do together. I love Brad and Rob, the guitarists, because of the fact of, you know, these guys work their asses off. But over all of them, I fell in love with Chester. And just every time I heard a song by Chester, you could tell it was coming from somewhere that was very real. It was coming from somewhere that was very true. The pain he sang about and the pain he like made you listen to was really his pain, and you could feel that he was the one who was feeling it. I mean, in the end, Crawling, all of that sounded very much like him. And it was him, and, you know, it made me listen. And that was beautiful to know that this was actually how this guy was really feeling. And I stayed with them, and I stayed with them pretty much right the way up until the end. And of course, a couple of months ago, the news was broken that Chester Bennington had died. Now, there are a lot of conspiracy theories and everything like that. And being the conspiracist that I am, you'd think that I was more inclined to agree with the theories about how he had been killed or stuff like this. But Chester had always been troubled. The pain that he felt was real. His wife and like his partners all had to deal with that pain, and dealing with like a lot of pain can cause a lot of issues, and Chester always had that pain in the forefront. And you know, dealing with that was a huge struggle for him, right the way up until, you know, he killed himself. And there are a lot of reasons why I think he killed himself. One of which is that he was incredibly close with another singer that I love, which is Chris Cornell. Now, unlike Chester, Cornell had a lot more commercialism in his music. I'm not saying he was purely commercial or that he sold out or whatever. That's not the point I'm getting at. The point I'm getting at is the fact that that his sound was widely more received in commercial success than Chester did until the last few albums, where the sound of the band kind of changed. Chester and Chris were incredibly close. Everyone knows that. And whether or not you believe that Cornell was killed, or whether or not you believe that Chester was killed, is neither here nor there to me. You're entitled to your own opinion, and you know me, I'm one of the most opinionated people in the world. But I'm not going to go into the drama that surrounds that. I think that's a very negative place for me to go. But if you were to accept the fact that they both killed themselves, which is at least at time of recording, still the most prevalent statement, and like the most prevalent kind of it's the most prevalent statement. It's the most like unified idea about their deaths. That moves me on to a very dark place. I have been suicidal in my life. I've been through suicide. I've seen suicide in all its stages. I've seen attempted suicide. I have attempted suicide, and I know someone, and I've lost someone in my life to suicide. I'm not going into the drama. I'm not going into that. I don't feel that it's an appropriate thing for me to do. As you can tell, recording this, I'm very rocky when it comes to talking about depression and suicide. I know that I used to be able to just speed off on and on and on about it, and a lot of people just be like, oh, okay, whatever. But the actual talk and the actual detail of suicide is, you know, it's becoming a thing where I'm feeling, the more I talk about it, the more I'm falling into that pattern. So I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to kind of talk a bit about what I remember suicide feeling like. Suicide is like a big black hole. You stand on the edge of the abyss and you just look down, and it's like, to some people, it's like the one drop of water in a world full of flame. It's that one little piece of escape you have. And I felt like that. I have felt that, like, you know, it'll stop if I do it. Ow. Sorry, I've got a spot of something on my ear. If I do it, then it all just stops. All the pain goes away. But you at the time you don't think of the people you leave behind because you're in so much pain and you're suffering so badly that you can't empathize. Because a lot of like people who are talking about suicide or who want to commit suicide feel like that no one empathizes with them, and therefore they must not really be worth it. They must not be worth having around. They must not be worth living because no one cares. I know that's for me a fair bit. I've had many suicidal times and suicidal motions, and there's been times where I've just been like, I give up. I'm stopping. This ain't working anymore. I want to stop the world. I want to get off. Tattoo. And I can relate to that. I can hear that. I can hear that echo, basically. But I also know what it's like to be left behind from suicide. I know what it's like. I think that's why I don't think I could ever attempt it. Well, I say I don't think. I hope I could never attempt it again, because I know what it's like to be left behind. I know what it's like to just sit and just be like, they're never coming back. And anyone who doesn't know what that feels like, is the most disgusting feeling your body ever makes you feel, ever. You feel like you failed them, that you gave up on them, you walked away when they needed you. And that's hard to deal with. You find yourself kind of going, okay, where do we go from here? And I want you guys to know I'm going to include some resources and phone lines. If you ever feel depressed or you ever feel like you need someone to talk to, I'll put Samaritans and I'll put everything down underneath. I'll even put that between my social, between my usual end of description and where I put my social stuff, because you guys need to know that there is a light and there is, there's hope at the end. And I'm not exactly sounding like there is because of the fact of I'm all like suicide, death, distraction, and all of that. But I really want you guys to know that there is hope and there is guidance. There is people who are willing to talk to you. I'm willing to talk. I'm up until nearly 2 o'clock. I'm up till 2, 3 o'clock every morning. If you guys want to talk to someone, I'm here. Talk to me, please. I don't leave my social stuff in there just to plug myself. I leave my social stuff there so that you guys know if you ever need to talk to someone, I am here. I am listening and I want to help. Because I know what it's like. I know how hard it is. Like I say, you want to talk to someone who's been left behind from suicide, talk to me. You want to know from someone who's attempted suicide, talk to me. Because I've done, with the exception of actually going through with the act, I've done it. And it's weird to be in my position where that could have been me that my family cry over. It could have been me that my family can't remember properly. It could have been me that gets left in the lurch. That could have been me. But, it's not. Because I pulled myself through. It's not because I pushed. It's not because I tried. I'm here talking to you guys. And I want you guys to know, if you ever feel the need to talk, my stuff's there. Drop me a line. And I'm there. I suppose, in a weird way, my way of wrapping up is that I've lost heroes, I've lost friends, and I've lost family to suicide. And my family almost lost me. My friends almost lost me. You know? And I just want you guys to know that I'm here if you guys ever need to talk. And that I do actually, and I know I say it all the time and it probably doesn't mean anything, but I really do love you guys. All of you. This has been a really deep video and quite a dark one, so I promise I'll do something lighter tomorrow because you guys don't need this all the time. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Bye guys.